Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good night to all the people that are tuning in. Thank you. Thank you. This morning, I want to talk about intuition and why we must listen to our intuition. And if you can't hear and understand what your intuition, it's time to tap in to your intuition, okay? So, intuition is just a knowing. You just know. Um, you just know without a shadow of a doubt in your mind. You don't need facts because it's something on the inside of you. And if people will understand all the answers are within us, then they would know they really don't even have to go search for the answer outside of themselves because they know that they can go into themselves because you got to go through the dark to come to the light. So a lot of people look on the outward of themselves and not hearing their intuition because it's so much going on in their outer world to what they don't know what's going on in their inner world. And in order to understand what is going on in your inner world, you got to go in. You got to reboot within. You have to understand within. And all that plays a major part in your intuition, okay? Intuition is also known as instinct. You just have that instinct. And in order to even have that, you have to be connected with God, with Source. You got to be connected, body, mind, and soul. You can't have so much going on in your mind, meaning negative thoughts. You will never hear your intuition. You will never know when to move and how to move if you don't get your mind right. Like I told you guys before, the mind is all and the universe is mental. So, whatever you put here on your outer world, it will become. But what we are trying to achieve with um, understanding the intuition is how to block out outer distractions. Okay, one thing I'm going to tell you, it's so hard, but it's so easy once you really tap in to rebooting, you know, the mind and pushing out the negative thoughts and bringing in the positive thoughts. Because the goal is to become in perfect peace. We understand what's going on the outside of us, but it doesn't have to be, okay? You could be at a perfect peace and still understand, okay? And a lot of people be like, how are people so calm at a time like this? Because people are following their intuition. They can hear, they can hear, and it's not even a voice. It's just, it's just, it's just what it is. I can't even explain it. It's not a voice. It's just a frequency, a energy, and it lets you know, do this, move that way. And it really beats out everything that people always want to see. They want facts on everything. If you need facts on everything, you don't believe. You're not a believer. You don't believe in self. you don't believe in the energy source, if you feel like you always have to have facts, that's a problem. It's time to start really getting some spiritual knowledge, spiritual food. I'm not talking about like that little scratch on the surface. I'm talking about really diving deep into your spiritual self. And the only way you could do that is if you cut off the TV and you really spend time with self and you really start to understand who self is. Okay? You'll never hear your intuition. You'll never know what's what because your mind's all over the place. You're scared to face self. It's time to face self. It's time to understand that in order to even be in perfect peace and be able to hear your intuition, you must have the will. You must have the will to change and reprogram the mind. I know it's scary, but it has to be done in order to reach your greater self, your best self. So I want to just say, like, clear out your mind. Um, Forgive yourself. Forgive others, even though you can't probably tell them personally. But first start to forgive yourself, and everything else will be easy. Forgive you. Nobody can stop you from forgiving yourself. And just know anything that's ever been done, that you've ever done, it's in the past. That's why the past is the past. We don't need to look at the past and dwell in the past. We need to look at the past and reflect on the past and learn from the past. Okay? It's that simple. And once you can begin to do that, you'll just have an understanding of knowing that you can't even comprehend.